of them executives, that's CEOs, COOs, CFOs, the upper echelon of companies, how to develop leadership programs, those kinds of things, working with individuals. I'm not going to keep talking because he's got a lot more interesting stuff than I have to say, but that's the kind of stuff he does, and that's what he's going to talk to us about. And we can apply that in our academic environment just as well as we can in business and other things. So kind of look at it as he's presenting it as a business perspective, but how does that apply to what I'm doing academically as well? And I think you can gain from that. Like I always talk about perspective. We have a certain perspective from the academic environment, we look at things, but in the business environment, it's a little bit of a different look. So it gives you that opportunity to play these things together. So, with no further ado, John Hyatt.
Thank you, Greg. Appreciate it. And thanks to y'all. It's a pleasure for me to be here. I appreciate the invitation to talk. Between 2011 and 2012, I was a Army Acquisition Corps officer in Afghanistan. And part of my job there was to supervise about 75 civilian contractors who were out installing microwave line of sight radios so that you could have 150 gigabyte bandwidth between one command post and another, so long as you had a line of sight. That was critical out there in Afghanistan with the mountains, to pass real-time video. And I was out there, and I was hired to solve a problem by my boss at Fort Belfort. The program where we were delivering the technology was having a challenge. So I go out there, and of course at this point I've had about 26 years of service in the Army, so I'm familiar with a lot of the leadership models and things out there, principles of leadership. When we had a meeting, one of our first meetings with my team, they were telling me about a problem, and I flew off the handle. I went right to the authoritative style of leadership, and I got a very limited result. I felt the energy and the tone of my voice, and I saw the expression of their face that my demonstration of a leadership style in that moment shut them down. My leadership style made me unavailable in that moment for optimum leadership, and that was a powerful lesson to me. I was paying attention, and I knew that had happened, and that enabled me to walk out of that meeting and say, never again. This team doesn't deserve that. These guys are professionals. They're working hard every day to do their best for the soldier. And from that time forward, I paid attention to showing up available for leadership. What I'm talking to you today is about show up available. Everybody say it. Show up available. Everybody. Show up available. One more time. Show up available. One more time. Show up available. I'm telling you, this will change your life. You'll earn more money. You'll have more love. You'll have more sex. You'll have more fun with your family. You'll have more fun with your kids. You'll get along better with your friends. You'll perform better academically. You'll be successful in business. And you'll be successful as a leader. If you can start to learn how to show up available for what you want. And it's all about creating conditions for what we want. There's some secrets about showing up available. Number one, whatever challenge you have going on right now, see it as an opportunity. Change your words around it. See it as an opportunity, whether it's an academic, a relationship, a family issue, a health issue, whatever you have going on. Challenges are only opportunities for us to grow into. Secondly, there are an abundance of solutions to situations that you're in right now. We tend to look at things through a scarcity complex. There's not enough. Not enough money, not enough food, not enough water, not enough gasoline, not enough time, not enough relationships, not enough love. And that is the illusion that we create based on our habits and beliefs. So start to see things in abundance rather than a scarcity. And then number 3, the results that come from showing up available are always greater than the specific results that you get at the end. And I'm going to show you why as we go through this presentation. We are complex beings. Each one of us has a billion things, a billion equations, even right now, going on in our minds and in our bodies. We're processing, we're seeing, we're hearing, we're tasting, we're experiencing energy, and we're perceiving everything through our own lens of how we grew up, who we are, the experiences we've been through. So it's okay. It's okay to be complex. Embrace that as a part of who you are. Stop trying to figure everything out and start to focus on what you can start to gain some insight in. So we're human beings. That's all. The first rule in learning how to show up more available for what you want is to release the perfection equation. This is Vince Lombardi. Some of y'all might know who Vince Lombardi was, but he was one of the best football coaches of all time, especially in the late 50s and early 60s. In his first meeting, locker room meeting with the Green Bay Packers in 1959, this is what he told his players. Perfection is not attainable, but if we chase perfection, we can catch excellence. Our pursuit of perfection sets us up for failure at the very beginning because we cannot obtain it, and we're constantly judging ourselves against some standard we've thrown up on the wall. In fact, you can't even describe a standard of perfection. But we still try to do it. We try to have the perfect relationship, the perfect body, the perfect look, the perfect family, the perfect job, the perfect paper. Release perfection. Pursue excellence instead. It creates a lot of freedom for what you want. If you're chasing perfection, that's going to make you unavailable to what you want. And we're going to talk more about that. By looking at things from excellence standpoint, you start to learn how you can become available for what you want. Here's the good part. Each one of us is already available or unavailable to any varying degree in the infinity ends of the spectrum. Again, based on the equation of who we are in our experience. Okay? It's okay to be right where we are. We're either less unavailable or more available or somewhere in between. But the bottom line is we're growing and learning. Whether we're unavailable or unavailable, that growing and learning is always taking place. And everybody's on their own path. People are available for different things. Some people are available for things and other people aren't. Some people are unavailable where people are available. That's okay. That's none of my business. My business is, what am I available for? What am I unavailable for? And how do I take those elements and create conditions for what I want? Because it's all about what fits. What I'm looking for is what fits for me. For example, if I'm dating, I'm looking for a fit. If my partner shows up, if I intend to show up available for respect, and the person I go out with starts to demonstrate disrespect, that's not a fit. But I got to pay attention to that. And then I release them right away. I'm not going to spend the next 6 months trying to do a fit with somebody who is already unavailable for a value that's important to me. So availability and unavailability is all about figuring out what fits for us. It's about two puzzle pieces and trying to see what fits. So being unavailable is good, because if I'm unavailable for disrespect, you can guarantee I'm not going to stick around very long in the relationship. I'm on my way out. Okay? But if I'm available for respect, and you demonstrate respect, that's a fit. We can create something together. We have to be available first here. I've got to be available to myself before I can be available to you. my ability to relate to you, talk to you, get along with you, interact with you, solve problems with you in an academic research situation, in a business situation, only goes so far as I am available to myself. If I've got anger issues, if I've got emotional patterns or thinking patterns or behavior patterns where I'm pushing you away, that sabotages our relationship. Okay? I'm showing up unavailable, you're showing up available, not much can be done. Okay? But if we are focused on ourselves first, and this is where I come up with the model of you're respected, esteemed, accepted, and loved self. I can demonstrate respect to you only to the amount of respect I demonstrate for myself. And of course, we always attract who we are. We attract who we are, not what we want. And you'll see how that unfolds too. These are just a ton of different ways that you're going to face, that we're going to face in life, that are opportunities for us to show up available in. And when we show up available, and you'll see in just a minute, there are certain values in each category that are important, that if I want to achieve success in those areas, for example, if I want to achieve success in parenting, I've got to show up for listening. I've got to show up for speaking. I've got to show up available for discipline. I've got to show up available for teaching. I've got to show up available for compassion and love. So when you start to think about all the different underlying values, they become important and help create a framework that you can define and say, how am I showing up available here, and what do I need to do to show up available for success? And we'll talk more about that as well. But each one of these areas, any of these areas speak to anybody out there?
Sleep issues, so I have to improve in sleeping.
I'm sorry,
I have this problem in sleeping.
Sleeping.
So I have to improve that to be a success.
Yes. Yes. There's an opportunity. See, you could look at that as a challenge. She could go to bed every night worried about how she's going to sleep and if she's going to fall asleep and how she'll wake up, and that creates a vibration that might make me, probably does make me, unavailable for a good night's sleep because I'm stressing over it. Thank you. That's an excellent example. Anybody else? Okay, that's all right. So, there's a bunch of different ways to show up available, and one of the first ways is mentally available. And this is where our thoughts, our beliefs, our perspectives, like Dr. Vessels was talking about, our worldview, our ability to use critical thought, our ability to have a frame of reference. What type of frame of reference are we using to look at dating? Okay, if any of you all are out there dating somebody or trying to date or looking to date, your frame of reference about relationships is determining how you show up, either available or unavailable, for the type of relationship you're looking for. Okay, so if you start to think about it in terms of availability and unavailability, some lights will go on. So we got to have mental availability. We've got to be being able to pay attention to our thoughts and beliefs and how those might shape us, especially bias. I mean, in the research world, we all know if I'm bringing a bias to the table already, that shuts me down and makes me unavailable to conclusions that I might arrive at as a part of my research, because I've already ruled things out. So I'm unavailable for the optimal research because my thoughts are in the way. Emotions. Our emotions can be all over the map. But emotions play a powerful role in whether we show up available or unavailable. Anger is a huge player. Anger keeps us closed, shut down, on the defensive. If I have an anger issue, or if I'm prone to be angry and demonstrate that, you're going to shut down. you're going to shut down. Other people are going to shut down. And I'm also going to attract other anger opportunities to be angry. Grief is another one, okay? But joy and happiness are another way too. If I show up available for peace, what am I unavailable for? Anyone?
Conflicts.
Conflict. So when conflict comes up, I go, I'm sorry, this is just not a fit. I'm not willing to engage here. I'm showing up available for peace. And if you want to show up available for peace, then we can get together and we can talk and we can solve a problem. And so emotions can play a real strong way, have a strong power. And this emotional power can go all the way back to times when we were kids and how we developed our emotions. And that is something to pay attention to. Sometimes we can be unavailable because we don't have the skills. The idea of dancing the tango is very appealing to me. I can be emotionally available for dancing the tango. I can be mentally available and see myself dancing the tango and think about dancing the tango. But until I learn the actual skill set and the physical behaviors that dancing the tango requires, I'm unavailable for learning how to dance the tango. So you have to look at what tools do you have, what skills do you have that make you available, what skills do you lack that make you unavailable. There's academic skills, research skills, business skills, relationship skills, mathematical skills, critical thinking skills. All sorts of different things in your environment here that would play a role in going, have I ever thought about my skill set? Are there skills that I can increase, grow, and expand that would help me show up more available for what it is I want to achieve? Words. Y'all, if there's one slide in this deck that I would have shown up, it would have been this. Your words, more than anything else, determine whether you're available or unavailable for anything in life. We think in terms of words. Did you know that? You're thinking in terms of words right now. You're going, I'm already out of here, I've checked out, or I can't wait to get out of here. Or you're going, oh, this is kind of interesting. Or you're thinking about something yesterday, but you're thinking in the concept of words in your head. When you change your words, you create incredible power for changing beliefs, changing emotions, changing behaviors, and learning skills. Start to pay real close attention to the words that just float around in your head as thoughts. Are they positive? Are they negative? Do they serve you? Do they not serve you? Do they move you forward? Do they hold you back? How old are they? How old are the beliefs that you have floating around in your head? And every time a certain situation happens, it's the same thought that comes up into your head. That's an old belief. Words have power, energy, impact. Pay attention to your words. The overall goal is alignment, okay? What showing up available does is like whenever the planets align, something spectacular and big is supposed to happen, all right? Aligning the planets is all about, in this regard, is about aligning our thoughts with our feelings, with our words, with our behaviors, and that opens doors for things to happen. When I'm out of alignment, well, when I'm in alignment, I'm consistent, I'm authentic, I have empowerment, I'm ready to play, I'm available to play, and I'm open. What happens, most of the time, we're scattered, we're inconsistent. We think one thing, we say another. We do one thing, we feel another. And as a result, doors are closed. Opportunities to excel, opportunities to optimize our academic experience, our relationships, all closes up. And then we're stuck because we're inconsistent. And this causes stress, anxiety, anger, depression, resentment. We all know the feeling, when we knew we should have done something and we didn't do it. Or we knew we should have said something and we didn't say it. That lack of alignment made us unavailable to show up in that moment and make something else happen, and we let ourselves down. So, we have the goal of showing up available creates more alignment and more consistency in who we are. Unavailable, we show up scattered and all over the place and closed. Why do we care though? What difference does it make? Well, I can't tell you why you should care. You have to discover for yourself why it would be important for you to show up available. And the bottom line question is are you getting what you want? Are you having the type of academic success that you want? Are you having the type of relationships that you want? Are you attracting, or are you making it as much money as you want to make? Are your relationships with your family the way you want? This is why it's important, but it all comes down to, do you want what you want enough to say, I'm tired of the old stuff, I'm ready to change my thoughts, get some things going, and start moving in a different direction, and now I have a mental model to do that because I can start to show up more available for what it is I want. This process, show up available, everybody say it, show up available, show up available. This process is going to require you, though, to cut, to release old beliefs, old stories, old patterns, relationships that have kept you still, okay? Whatever it takes. And I love the picture of Uma Thurman up there. Okay, she was a powerful cutter. She did a lot of detaching, a lot of releasing. But this part of it, I can't achieve something new unless I've let go of the old. And if there's something holding you back in an area of your life that you want to be more successful at, you can guarantee it's something old that you need to I use this in my coaching all the time. Okay. You know what? That relationship is just never moved. Because we're not a fit, and I've been trying to make it fit. You know what? This study habit that I've used, it never worked. I don't know why I keep doing it. You know what? Release. Cut. Cut the cord. Release what doesn't work. And a pair of scissors, or a sword, or a knife, or whatever, these are powerful, powerful metaphor right here to creating change, to freeing yourself to change. New beliefs are waiting for you. New results are waiting for you, depending on your ability to cut. How are you looking at things? This is what drives how you show up available, is your whole perspective. How you are looking at a situation determines whether you'll find either limited opportunities to solve it, or if you go, you know what, there's unlimited. We have a situation, there are already unlimited solutions. What energy would that bring to the table if you actually said that in a meeting where you were going to talk about solving a problem? How would that shift the energy? What kind of doors would that open? How available would that create connection? And so by paying attention to how you're seeing things, you'll start to get some insight to go, oh, I can do some improvement there. I can optimize this. I can let go of that. It's time. Beliefs are only practice thoughts, which means any belief that you currently have started with one thought, and then you just kept repeating either the same or similar thoughts along that lines until now it's a rock solid belief. But that belief might not even serve you. It might not even be valid. It might not even be real. It could be a complete illusion. But yet here we are. That's who we are. That's who I am. I've got that belief. And nobody can shake me from it. Oh, okay. Does that make me available or unavailable? Unavailable. Yeah. So, and these are all the sorts of things that can show up that are keeping us unavailable. Any of these ring a bell for anybody? Any comments? All these things are like bricks in our walls between keeping us from what we want. What you want is on the other side of this wall. And movement comes, movement becomes possible. I was working with a CEO of a company the other day who wants to do better at his presentations. Are you all good public speakers? Everybody public speakers? I can tell you one thing. You know what will make you money? You know what will help you in your life? Speaking. Learning how to speak would be probably, next to listening, next to being a good listener, being a good speaker. Who enjoys sales? Everybody wants to be a salesman? Okay, a couple people. Excellent. You all don't want to do sales? What's wrong with sales? You guys are selling me right now. Everything is sales. Everything. But see, this is a fear. We have a fear. We have a culture that says, oh, sales bad. Oh, it's bad salesman. Oh, the used car salesman down the street is going to screw me over. Oh, you know, my parents got, you know, had a bad experience with sales. Whatever, okay? Fear and a habit of seeing sales as bad makes us unavailable to becoming good salesmen. But let me tell you, you guys are writing papers with the intent to sell, right? Are you not trying to sell your idea in a paper? Absolutely. When you get up in front of you and you go in for your thesis or whatever, aren't you selling? That's gold. That is gold. Whatever you have standing in the way that makes you unavailable for sales, get rid of it. Replace it with, I love sales. I love to sell. Selling is not about product, it's about people. And it's not about manipulation, it's about trust. A good salesman people love, not because he tricks people into buying from him or selling them something. They want to buy from a good salesman. Grow your sales, become available for sales, and watch your success start to go. We are already creating, every single one of us, we're already attracting. We're a magnet. I attracted this opportunity. Greg. I attracted Greg, and Greg attracted me because we're like-minded and open and available for connection and discovery and sharing. Okay? Each one of you is a powerful magnet. Whatever relationships you have going on in your life, you are like a big magnet. You attracted that right into your experience. And you have a choice what you want to do with it. Okay? But who we are is a powerful magnet that draws people to us. And we're always creating anyway. We are always creating conditions. So because this is your world, the only question is what do you want? Somebody give me an example of where you see yourself in 5 years. Anyone?
Working at least as a lecturer, but at the same time, probably do something in the industry as well.
Okay, excellent, excellent. So you have a vision of what you want. Showing up available starts with the vision, but goes deeper. It says, you said industry, I heard part of it.
Industry.
What?
Yeah, industry as well.
Industry. And doing what specifically in it? If you could craft the dream job 5 years from now, what is it for you?
One thing for sure, I'd still like to be a researcher, at least assistant professor and whatnot, but at the same time working in the industry as well, as a business person or entrepreneur and whatnot.
Okay, great, perfect. It starts with that vision. Clarity is essential. When I start to do this, dive deep, okay? I want to be a professor. I want to be in industry. What does that mean? What does that look like, feel like, taste like, smell like? Who am I working with? How much money am I making? Is it casual dress or am I in a business suit? What's the commute like, okay? What are my coworkers like? What's my boss like? What kind of environment is it? What are the benefits? Okay? And you start to get drilled down and start to get more and more deeper on the qualities of what you want. Okay? I was working with a particular client, a couple clients actually have had this issue where they want more intimacy in their relationships. Well, just wanting more intimacy in a relationship doesn't cut it. That's not how men and women work. Well, some men might work that way. Women are a little bit different. And I'm like, instead of focusing on what you want to possess and what that looks like, what conditions do you need to create for that to happen? Oh, respect, kindness, compassion, cleaning up around the house, kindness, okay? And so, sometimes we're not available for all those things, we're available for that. But we're not available for kindness, respect, compassion, conversation, communication. So this is where you go deeper. You start to identify what are the qualities of my experience that I want. Okay? Because here's what happens. The gift is that you're going to get focused on the qualities, and you might end in industry, or you might end up in business, but wherever you end up is going to have the qualities because you've made yourself available for that. You know exactly what to look for. And this is huge when I talk to people, some of my clients that are in job transitions, or even folks like yourself that I don't know what I want to do. I'm like, go beyond where you see yourself and what does it look like, taste like, feel like, smell like. What does that experience start to do for you? And so this is just a model of showing up available. And I'm going to go through this, and actually I want to stop here before I get into this part and ask, are there any questions about what I'm talking about this concept of showing up available or unavailable? Any examples?
I have a question. If we're in an environment where we want to be available, we think we're available, but we're working with an instructor in our as a student or our boss, and they're not available, how do you deal with that?
Excellent question. Excellent question. The first thing is to realize that we can't control other people. Right? Most of the time, though, we think we can. We think that by convincing, punishing, shaming, guilting, arguing, manipulating, trickery, whatever, that somehow somebody might come around to our point of view. Anybody ever tried to do that? I know I have. Was it successful? No. Okay, in fact, it was pretty ugly. The first thing to do is to let go of trying to control anyone. Now, having said that, the second thing is how do I want to show up in this relationship with this person? And this is where I go, how am I showing up, or how have I showed up in the past? I go back to my model. What are my thoughts? How do I see this person? Oh, he's always this, she's always that. Never approachable, he blew me off, they're rude. Okay, so I might have some perspectives. Those perspectives will make me unavailable to a successful relationship because I've already judged it and I've already made myself unavailable. Instead, I go, how do I want to show up? What ways can I show up in the relationship with this professor or coworker or research teammate or whatever it might be, or business owner, whatever, in a way that creates conditions for success? Because what do I want? Do I want a collaborative, close relationship with this person? Absolutely. Why? Because that creates conditions for what we want to do together, and that's to have a pleasant experience. So, I've got to get real clear again on who am I? How am I rolling? And where's my energy at? And how am I seeing things, feeling things, and showing up skills? Now, I might not have the skills. I might want to have a conversation with them. I might think pleasantly about him and openly that I want to have a conversation with him. I might lack the exact words that I want to say. That's a skill set. That's learnable. All of this is learnable. So I can go, I wonder who I can talk to that might help me change words around in my head or help me come up with a conversation to have and how I might actually say words. I frequently do this with people that I work with because they're like, John, this is what I want to say, I just don't know how to say it. I'm like, okay, well, first off, that's okay, we'll figure it out. What do you want to create? Collaboration, openness, kindness, respect. So this is where you would go in, and I'd say, I love your class, and I love the things I'm learning in it. It's brilliant, and I appreciate your effort as the instructor. I am open to having a relationship with you or to solving this situation, and I'm committed to showing up with respect, on time, prepared, whatever the things might say. See what I'm doing? I'm describing how I want to show up. Are you available for that? Now, what could he say? No. And if I say thank you, because I respect you, I respect your decision. Based on that decision, because I respect myself, this is what that decision means for me. I'm going to release this participation or not do this and, not move. This is a boundary for me, so it's okay. I respect where you are. Okay? That's information. I go, interesting. Okay. Or he might say, great, let's do it. And then we have the framework that's based on mutual respect and trust. But it took me a skill set. It took me being available first to myself and my own perspectives and emotions and everything that I was going on within me and going, am I showing up? What do I need to change? What do I want to create? And do I have stuff that's going to get in the way of that? And if when I identify as those things and flip them over from what I don't want to what I want, I go, okay. Hey, because I respect you, I love the class, I'm really interested in improving my grades. I want to improve my grades. And I want to because I respect the subject. I respect the process. Tell me how I can participate in the process in a way that helps me create conditions for my academic success. What professor is not going to want to share that with you? Well, there might be some, but probably most of them will probably do so. So you see how that works? But again, if I go in, that guy, that lady, they're always that. They never do this. They never do that. They want me to fail. They're, blah, 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 blah. Am I available or unavailable in that space? Totally unavailable. And what results do I keep getting? The same results. I can't help it. I'm a magnet. I'm going to attract more of that energy from him because I'm bringing it to the table. I'm going to attract more of that energy from other people around me. But who's creating? Am I getting what I want? Yes. I'm getting exactly what I want because I'm focused on what I don't want. If I'm focused on what I don't want, let me see if I've got the, I don't want to fight with you. What am I focused on in this situation? What?
Fighting.
Fighting. What am I going to do? What have I created the conditions for? Fighting. Okay. If instead, what could I say? How could I say it differently? Somebody help me out. You have a conversation that, you have an opportunity to speak with somebody with whom there is some energy going on. What can I say instead?
Let's see how we can work things out.
Yes. Great, thank you. You know what? I am open to an honest conversation with you, and I'm willing to participate in that so that we can work through this and find peace, harmony, and decide whether we're going to stay together or go apart, because we don't have to stay together and we don't have to go apart. We get to choose. Are you open and available for this kind of conversation? What are they going to say? No, thank you. Because I respect you, I respect your answer, and that means that I'm going to make a decision for me based on your unavailability. So I'm out. Okay? If they say yes, yes, thank you. So this takes practice, and it takes skills, and it takes cognitive thinking about who you are and what your beliefs are and what's happening. What is happening? This is where I'm going to kind of go all over the place a little bit because we just have a few minutes left. I've got to start to pay attention. Isn't it interesting that me and this person don't get along? What is happening here? Or I'm having this experience in class. What is really happening? Stop judging it as far as good or bad and go, well, I'm showing up this way, they're showing up that way, this is what the experience is, and I'm curious. But I'm also intended to take responsibility. I'm going to stop blaming the other person. I'm going to start trying to guilt them or shame them or embarrass them to act differently than they are acting. Why? Because that's not my job. Not my job to control how other people act. In fact, thank you for acting just the way you are. Because that lets me know who you are, and then I can decide whether I want to show up available for a relationship with you or I want to be unavailable. And it's all about owning your power. I've got my own power right here. The power's not in the professor. We might think the power's in the professor. But no, the power over what? I have power when I'm empowered over my own emotions, thoughts, and my responses. And I'll be damned if I'm going to give that away to somebody else. Don't give your peace away. Keep it inside. Be obsessed with focusing only on what you want. And then look at what conditions are required to get it. What you want are your preferences. Honor those. You can always change your preferences. You can change. But if you have a preference or a style or what fits for you, respect your preferences. Honor it and put boundaries around it. Most of the time, we think we have boundaries, we don't. And that's disrespectful to us, ourselves, when we don't honor our boundaries. Who else is it disrespectful to? The other person. Don't they deserve to know the real us and what our boundaries are? Absolutely. It's disrespectful not to let somebody know what your boundary is, because they're making assumptions that you don't have one. So, we're constantly measuring this gap between what we want, what we have, and how things go for us. So, the thing to keep in mind is, what is the gap? And how can you create new conditions to get focused on what you want? And as we, what time does it end? Is it 20 after, or is it on the hour? Greg?
20 after?
20 after? Okay. Let me just share and then go right to the end. Crazy things are going to happen in life, y'all. Crazy things. There's only one thing to pay attention to. Who you are in any given situation, meaning your values, your emotions, your mindset, your beliefs, how you show up available, who you are in any given situation is always greater than the situation of what's happening around you. And if you can remember that and start to practice, even just the term, I'm going to show up available for my next class, which means, oh, I'm present, I'm paying attention, I'm mindful, I'm participating. See what I'm saying? I'm going to show up available for my next date. Well, wait a minute, I'm not available at all for my next date. I'm going to tell him or her, hey, thank you, but we're a little different. Well, I think we're just going to go our separate ways. Okay? Who you are, you get to choose. Dive in. Get deep on what you want and who you are. And show up available for what you want. And get the results that you want. It's your life. Own it. Thank you, everybody. Appreciate it. I'm available for questions. If people want to stay or need to stay, I'm available for questions. But if you've got something else to get off to, I understand.
Any questions, anybody? Here's your chance. Usually you have to pay to get this stuff, so you get it for free today.
I'll share one thing with you real quick. My first marriage, I was unavailable for 15 years. Okay? This is where I learned the difference about showing up available. So when I got divorced after my first marriage, 5 kids, 15 years, I go, wow, Hyatt, what the hell? No wonder you got the results you got in your marriage. Because you were unavailable for so many things from the beginning. I was young, 24, but I was unavailable. I couldn't speak my truth. I had low self-empowerment. I had low self-respect, low self-esteem. No concept for having a conversation about what I really wanted or what was important to me. None of it is my ex's fault. She showed up exactly as who she was. Situation that was going on in here. So over the few years after my divorce, I'm like, how do I want to show up differently? How do I want to show up available instead of unavailable in my next relationship? So far I'm up to 54 ways. Okay? 54 very clear ways. Look, parenting is up here. If you want kids, and whoever you're dating does not want kids, or does not see kids as part of their future, they're not going to change their mind. Honor them. It's not a fit. You're available for somebody who wants a family. Trust that it's out there. It's an abundant universe, remember? That person is out there. Affection, sex, and intimacy are all 3 different, very important things in a relationship. You got to show up for all 3 if you want all 3. You can't show up for just one. Well, you can, but you'll create a result from that. All right? So this has a deep application. Any situation that you're dealing with, you can come up with your own list. How do I want to show up? How do I want to show up available for academics, for leadership, for business? What values do I have that are going to steer me? How am I going to frame my thoughts, words, actions, and feelings? And you choose values, respect. That's a huge one. When I choose respect as a value to guide, as a guidepost, that is so helpful because I'm intent on demonstrating and practicing respect, and I'm looking for respect to come across my experience. The good thing is for the most part, I'll attract it. And I get it. But when it doesn't show up, I don't spend very long time at all with it. I don't spend weeks or months with somebody who's disrespectful. Not a fit. Not a fit. That's another great phrase. Everybody say it. Not a fit.
No.
Not a fit.
No.
You know, I'd love to participate. It's not a fit for me. Have a great time. You know what? Your politics. Hey, not a fit for me, but hey, let's go have a drink. All right? Stop demanding. We sometimes demand or want to argue people to come to our side. No, they don't have to. Honor that. Peace. So underrated in life. I'm telling you. Too much drama. I am unavailable for drama, y'all. I'm telling you. Drama? Now I've been known to create my own. I'm human too. But type of high drama situations, high drama people, thank you. Observe it. Not a fit for me. I'm not available for it because I'm available for what? Peace. So focus on what you want. Because I'm showing up available for peace, that automatically makes me unavailable for non-peace. So, okay, I got it. So I create from what I want. That's the key. And pick your values. Values are it. Values. They're the deep. That's the deep. And we were talking to the young lady about what she wanted to do. The values of where she was going to be 5 years from now. The qualities of where she wanted to be 5 years ago. Where she might end up could be quite different, but she could have every single quality in her experience because she's showing up available for it now. 1 degree of shift is all you need. And I hope that I've been able to give you something today to think about. It's something that shifts you from where you are now into a new direction that goes, yeah, never thought about it that way. Okay, I intend to practice showing up available. I intend to pay attention to when I'm unavailable. I intend to measure the gap between my availability and unavailability and determine the values that can give me a little guidepost. Any questions? Comments? Suggestions?
Just a quick comment, and especially in the academic setting, we all get so wrapped up in the technicalities, the data collection, all the things we do in research, and sometimes as a result of that, we're so focused on it, we lose the human side of things. And that is the one thing from my business perspective, and John's teaching it, but I experience in business all the time, is people get so caught up in that they lose the interpersonal skills that are just so critical to be successful in whatever you're trying to do. And that's where I perceive the big value in this, is these are skill sets that we can learn. The things he showed us, we can learn from, and that helps us be more effective in expanding outside of just doing the research. How that research is going to be applied to other things, how we can grow into other jobs and increase the exposure to other things. So that's just
Thank you, Greg. And look, y'all, because I started to figure it out, and I know just a little bit more, and I'm able to show up a little bit more available now than I did a while ago, means anybody can. It does take practice. Let me go this way. It's a process. Learning this skill, practicing this skill, becoming more mindful and aware of this skill, it's a practice. Okay? Here's the thing, you're right where you're supposed to be. Did you all know that? Stop fighting where you are. There's nothing wrong. There's an opportunity for you to choose any direction to go into in this present moment. The past is nothing but a trail. Okay, it's the trail you left behind, that's all it is. All we're doing is learning and growing, that's all. Let yourself be a learner and a grower. And what do we do about perfection? What do we do instead of pursuing perfection? Chase excellence. It's a lot lighter that way. It's a lot more fun that way. And you'd be surprised with what you can achieve. Thank you, everybody. I appreciate it.